Incoming!
This is Darth Brimstone, and I am here with a Rebel Moon update. So, Rebel Moon right now is being review bombed by critics, as per usual on Rotten Tomatoes. So, apparently the critics have had a little bit of fun with this, and I don't think the Snyder fans are going to be having that for very long. I'll let one of my favorite characters from Babylon 5 pass the message along to them. To Disney, and most likely Disney anyway, who is probably paying reviewers to review bomb the crap out of this.
I suppose there'll be a war now, All that running around and shooting at one another? You would have thought sooner or later it would go out of fashion.
Where were you when the ambassador?
Now, I'm not a Snyder loyalist or anything along those lines. I am just someone who likes good movies and loves to rip on bad ones. So, sorry, Zach, if your movie sucks, I will tell you. However, I'm willing to reserve judgment until I see it, which will be when Netflix releases it officially on the 21st. Because I'm not going to go see it in theaters, and I don't even think there is a theater near me that is airing it. So let's see what those paid shills had to say. Now, I'm sure some of these are fine, upstanding individuals, and some of them are probably assholes. So, Livy Scott here, she gave a good review on it. It's a fresh tomato. So, Rebel Moon is a melting pot of modern myth, cherry-picking some of our most recognizable legends to craft a tale that is stately, sexy, and fiercely entertaining. Well, so far that's starting off pretty good. Oh, but then the bad ones come in. The kind of movie that seems overwrought, underbaked all at once. Although suitably epic in scale, the abundance of exposition and slow-mo action scenes drags the story down. So, okay, you know what, that one, Jeremy Aspinall at the Radio Times probably had a pretty fair analysis of it. Dylan Roth. Like so many aspiring myth makers, Snyder put the cart before the horse, promising a sprawling galaxy of stories while failing to make even the first one functional. This one was the one that stood out to me, and that is Rebel Moon Part 1. A Child of Fire is a derivative space opera that indulges in Snyder's worst maximalist impulses, and is a sensory assault, a punitive experience, that can be summed up in one word, loud.
In fact,
well, you should have stayed home. When lay ma. Because if you didn't expect that out of a Zack Snyder movie, that it was going to be loud and bold and brash, you've never been to a Zack Snyder movie. So let's just see what the fans had to say, okay? Let's just see what the fans had to say. Because I'm sure that the fans are going to be a lot more fair to Zack than those critics. So let's see here. I'm not sure what movie the critics watched, but the movie I watched is Fire from Ghost P. I don't know if that one was in the clip I grabbed. Here goes again an unrealistic review of Rotten Tomatoes critics. Eric S. with very violent and intense sci-fi film in the mold of Blade Runner. Outstanding lead performance from Sofia Boutella. Okay. I actually agree with what he said about Sofia Boutella. From what I've seen so far, she looks freaking awesome. I don't know what the critics are talking about. Wouldn't know a good movie if it went across her face. An excellent film. Can't wait to see the second part. Brilliant. One of the greatest sci-fi epics ever made. Sorry, Stephen D, but you are probably a hardcore Schneider fan. There are very few movies I would call the best sci-fi epic I've ever seen. But who knows? You might be right. Action style in this movie is awesome and highly recommended. A trademark. Honestly, Jonathan A., that is a trademark of Zack Snyder. So as we can see, the fans are usually being a lot more fair in this. But as for what is coming when this is released and the pull Disney has, yeah, me too, Luke. Me too. Because this thing is going to get review bombed to hell once the Disney shills get a hold of it. So for those of us in the community reviewing this stuff, let's just keep it fair and honest, folks, because I think stuff is going to get nasty coming up.
I suppose there'll be a war now, All that running around and shooting at one another? You would have thought sooner or later it would go out of fashion.
Where were you when the ambassador?
So Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I am going to close this one down, and I wish you and yours a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. May the Force be with you, and take care of you and yours.